Hey Kings and Dragons, Dragon King 551, and we are back with another video. I'm going to try something different, guys. This is one topic that I have not discussed once on YouTube. This is about Harry Potter stuff. So for that being said, as I just want to state something before I get into it. As you get older, there are certain characters as a kid you liked, and now there are certain characters maybe you don't like as much anymore, and that is why I'm going to talk about a certain character that I do not find that great anymore. Movie-wise, okay? Movie-wise, I do not find her great. That's all I'm going to say. Here's the thing. If you guys have watched One Tree Hill or any of that, you know there are certain characters that you know are toxic, such as Elena in Vampire Diaries, or such as Lucas Scott in One Tree Hill. Both toxic characters because they both can't seem to pick someone to stick with. Anyway, let's get into it. Hermione's character, I don't really like her as much anymore. What? How can you not like Hermione? Oh my god, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm gonna X you out of Harry Potter fans. That's probably what you're all going to say. But hear me out as why I don't really like Hermione as a character anymore. Here's the thing. I'm going to talk about every scene in the movies, and then possibly in a part 2, I'm going to talk about why she would lose to 90% of the people. Let's talk book 1. Now, book 1 doesn't have a lot of stuff. I mean, here's the one thing. When Hermione says Leviosa, you guys can't hear it in the movie. You have to put closed captions on, because in the book, Ron adds an R to it, but in the movie you can only hear, it's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa, and it doesn't sound right because he's saying Leviosar, A-R, not S-A, so you're not hearing that, and he's saying S-A-R, where instead she's saying S-A, so that's why it's bad and stuff. And then also the troll. Now, obviously, Ron was worse in the movies. He seemed like he agreed with Snape a lot. Like, oh, yeah, she's terrible. She's an annoying know-it-all. But Ron stands up in the book. I digress. The other thing I do want to talk about, though, is for Harry, he has to lift up his hair for Ron and stuff when he introduces himself. But right away, Hermione already knows it's Harry, which makes obviously no sense. I get that she's the most gifted witch of her age. The reason I put quotations is because I think in the book, we know that Harry is on neutral ground between being like Muggle knowledge and wizard knowledge, where Hermione knows more about Muggle knowledge and Ron knows more about the wizard knowledge. Now, granted, she does read wizard books to find out about the Horcruxes and everything later, but also the other thing is that Ginny is very gifted, and I think Ginny is sometimes smarter than Hermione. I can't bring up a point right now, but there are times in the books where Ginny does call out Harry in book 5 about him being possessed by Voldemort and stuff, and that's a video for another time. But moving right along from movie 1, that always questioned me. It was like, wait, how did Hermione know that at age 11? I get that sometimes girls are more susceptible and find out more stuff than guys, but whatever. So moving right along into book number 2. Nothing really stands out to me in that book that questions me. So we're moving right along to Azkaban. Let's talk about Azkaban. Again, there's not a lot that in Azkaban that I want to talk about. Now, here's the thing. The reason that I want to talk about these stuff, and then I'm going to go back and explain those reasons. So in Azkaban, when Harry gets tormented by the Dementor, Ginny kind of has the same thing. I'm just going to point this out, guys. I do want to bring up a couple of Ginny facts as well. Is that Ginny does, in fact, feel the torment of her year 1 of the diary possessing her when the Dementor comes near her. And Harry feels the same pain because he remembers the night his mother died. So in that contest, when Hermione says, I just felt unhappy, there was no woman screaming, Lupin is more susceptible. And Lupin and Hermione are kind of like a parallel. You could say that Lupin is the Hermione of Sirius and James's group and stuff, and, in that contest or conquest or whatever, or group or whatever you want to call it. But the point is that Lupin even understands more and understands that it is possible to get sent back to a traumatic event even if you were a child. Yes, children don't remember stuff until they're 3 years old, but at the same time, you can't disagree with that. And, it's possible that a traumatic event at a young age that you blocked out can, in fact, affect you later down the line in life. I think that's also why I think that it was so easy for Harry and Ginny to come back together, because they took counseling, and it was just like they both had traumatic events in their lives. And, so anyway, when Hermione says there is no woman screaming, I'm just like, well, Harry's not really crazy. I don't know what you're trying to imply. Now, again, Goblet of Fire, I think there's nothing there. In the books, Harry is more ruthless in book 5 when he tells Hermione that he truly believes Voldemort is there, and they're trying to kind of deny it. Also, I believe in book 5, though, they kind of just gloss over it. Hermione and Ron, I believe, are head girl and head boy, I believe, or prefects or something along the lines of that. And then Harry gets to be Quidditch captain in book 5, but they completely glossed over that and put it in book 6, whatever. The point is that it is what it is. So let's go to book 5. There are probably 3 scenes that I can talk about in the movies where I wanted to pop, 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 and just beat the crap out of Hermione and stuff. I'm sorry, but that's just how I felt. And let's start with scene number 1. Harry, there's nothing pulling the cart like normal. Okay, bitch, if you're so freaking smart, how about I knock your teeth out? How about that? If you're so freaking smart and you're the most gifted witch of your age, then you should know that there are probably things that are there that you can't explain. There you go. There's your explanation, wacko. Now who's the stupid wacko? And stuff. And then we get in the car, and she almost calls Luna loony, but literally Luna is Ginny's best friend, and also she can see them too. So Hermione, once again, shut the F up. I'll knock your teeth out if I have to. Shut up. Just shut up. That's how I feel. I felt really enraged. Let's start with the third one. Not subtle whatsoever. Granted, she's known Harry longer and is trying to succeed and help Harry's goals over Ginny's goals with Harry and Ginny to end up together. But she, in the movie we say that, like, Harry, you're my best friend. I know you have feelings for Ginny. How does it feel when you see Dean? And it's like, and then he says it feels like this. However, in that scene when she says Cho couldn't keep her eyes off Harry and stuff, she smiles, and I'm like, bitch, I'm ready to punch you in the face again, you mother fricker. Shut up! Sorry, I feel really enraged, but shut up, Hermione. Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, I want to keep this PG, but gotta drop an F-bomb every now and then. Just shut up, Hermione. Shut up. Because one thing, it's not subtle. 2, it's really digging into, like, Ginny's heart, and it's really hurting her. Even, like, I think, like, Fred and George comfort her, and it's just like, I know how it feels to feel that pain and stuff. But let's be frank, Cho was just a rebound for Harry. It meant absolutely nothing. And, again, 6. Okay, Half-Blood Prince is probably a couple times. 1, she doesn't find out who the Half-Blood Prince is in the movie when she goes to the library and stuff. In the book, she does find out that through reading or something with Snape's mother or something. I don't remember exactly what the detail was. I would have to look that up. But let's get into this one. So 1, she's really pissed off that Harry is doing well. Now, I will talk about this. The reason Hermione does so much better than Harry is because Harry doesn't want to imply himself to Snape because he doesn't like Snape because Snape always disrespects his father. However, if Harry learned from Snape from book 1 to book 5 and stuff, he would have been successful. The reason that Hermione is so successful is because of Snape's recipes. When we get to Slughorn, he tells them to read out of the textbook. And by doing that, He's not putting his own spin on the recipe to make it better, and that is why Hermione is not doing so well in that contest. However, when Harry in the movie uses Snape's book with the contest due to the Half-Blood Prince book, he actually succeeds because he's not being taught by Snape anymore, but he's still learning from Snape and stuff. And that is where in lies the problem, because Hermione is one of those jealous type girls, and let me tell you, she is a pick-me girl. Let me just tell you what that means. It means she starts drama and stuff, and she did start drama between like Harry and like Ginny and everything else in the movies, guys, not in the book. However, I digress. The point is that she gets she's annoyed in the movie where, like, you should be proud of Harry being succeed in reading a book and becoming more knowledgeable. But in the in that contest and everything, she's pissed off because Harry's bettering himself and he's better than her. And she tries to grab the book and stuff because she wants it for herself, is what I implied. Now, obviously, I personally believe that, yes, Hermione is questioning the book and is skeptic about it. However, when Ginny does grab it out, remember, I would bring up some Ginny stuff. When Ginny does grab it out of Harry's hand, and then, you know, she says, who's the Half-Blood Prince in the movie and stuff, I think, though, like, you know, that was probably, like, a really kind of cool, somewhat minor badass scene and stuff, and then throws it back to Harry, and, like, Ginny just smiles. The thing is that the reason Ginny is so questioning the book and so conscious about it is because she knows about books that crucified her, hashtag Tom Riddle Horcrux and stuff, and, you know, I mean, that's that. So, with that being said, I mean, that's one scene that, you know, is like, Hermione, why are you getting so pissed off? I mean, Harry is learning, right? Anyway, that is probably one scene where she gets, like, stuff. Now, here's another scene where it really doesn't make a lot of sense, because in the book, and I don't know if it's a deleted scene, it might be, but in the book, Hermione does remember that she tested her theory out, I believe, and showed Harry that the rumor requirement doesn't appear on the Marauders map. Now, when we get into that line in book 7, when Ron says, didn't you tell us last year that the rumor requirement doesn't appear on the Marauders map and stuff? But the problem with that is that it doesn't make any sense, because in a deleted scene, Harry says, Hermione, I think Draco is leaving the castle, and Hermione says, that's not possible and stuff. No one can leave the castle these days. And Harry's like, I'm not crazy, look, and stuff. And she's like, just says, good night, Harry. Here's the thing. She doesn't want to believe stuff, and now we're going to talk about each thing, why it is the way it is. She doesn't want to believe stuff because of the fact she wants to try to use logic. But herein lies the problem, guys, with logic in Harry Potter. Even Dumbledore says you can't see this magic, and it's love. Love is the most powerful magic. It doesn't have to be logical to make sense and stuff. It's a world of magic. The problem is that Hermione is trying to bring in Muggle, real-world logic into a world of magic. So, for an explanation and stuff, you know, everything needs an explanation, right? Well, here's the thing. Not a lot in book 1, really, you know. Nothing for book 1, but book 3. Let's talk about book 3. Book 3. Hermione, the reason you can't hear a woman screaming is because you didn't experience a traumatic event. There's your thing. It's a world of magic. You don't have to look for logic in it, bitch. Bitch, here's your explanation. Harry experiences a traumatic event through the power of a Dementor's magic. Harry experiences a traumatic event when he sees Cedric die in year 4. So when he sees the Thestrals, it's the reason of magic! And there you go. And stuff. There's your explanation. The reason Harry succeeds better than you is because he's using a magical book that's maybe made by the greatest potions master to ever live, who is really good at potions magic. Sorry that I keep yelling like that, but seriously, Hermione, the reason Draco doesn't appear on the map anymore is because it's a magical map that doesn't allow you to see certain things. It does not show a person when they are going into the bathroom, and it does not show a person when they are going into the room of requirement or going through a secret passage. There you go. Magic! Well, actually, it does show the secret passage, but I don't think it shows the one between, like, the room of requirement and into Aberforth's place. But there's your explanation, guys, on why Hermione is not that great of a character. I find her annoying, I find her obnoxious, because she tries to bring in logic that doesn't make any sense. Even Ginny and Ron can say that it's a magical world. It doesn't have to be explained. It's about magic. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you think Hermione's character is in question and stuff? Or do you think that they did her right? Because for me, I don't really think that she's in the right mindset here. But let me know your thoughts, guys. So that's all I have for now. So until next time, guys, don't forget to stay radical. I'll see you in the next one. But as they say in the magical world, love is the strongest magic of them all.